In the labyrinthine corridors of power, there exists a profound truth that few dare to confront. The mechanics of control are often so subtle, so insidious, that they elude our conscious awareness. This manipulation thrives in the shadows, cloaked in the guise of freedom, democracy, and safety. The words of Machiavelli resonate through the ages, reminding us that the struggle for power is as much about perception as it is about reality. In his seminal work, The Prince, Machiavelli laid bare the ruthless strategies employed by rulers to maintain their dominion, emphasizing the primacy of fear and the illusion of choice. As we delve into the mechanics of power, it becomes imperative to recognize the ways in which we are manipulated without our explicit realization. The notion that we are free agents making autonomous decisions is a comforting illusion, one that masks the intricate web of control woven by those in power. The stark reality is that our choices are often predetermined, shaped by unseen forces that operate behind a veil of normalcy. The first thread in this tapestry of manipulation is fear, a powerful weapon wielded by governments and institutions. Machiavelli understood that fear could be a tool for control, and recent history has illustrated this principle with alarming clarity. The events of September 11, 2001, serve as a stark reminder of how fear can be weaponized to justify sweeping measures that erode civil liberties. In the wake of the terrorist attacks, the United States government enacted the Patriot Act, a legislation that legalized mass surveillance and curtailed privacy rights under the guise of national security. The fear instilled in the populace was palpable, leading to widespread acceptance of intrusive measures that would have been unthinkable just days prior. The rhetoric of safety and protection was employed to justify wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, reinforcing the notion that fear can be a catalyst for action, even when the legitimacy of that fear is questionable. As we reflect on this, we must ask ourselves, was the fear of terrorism a genuine threat, or was it a deliberately constructed narrative designed to consolidate power? The answer lies in the realization that real power does not merely instill fear. It convinces individuals that fear is their only option. This manipulation of fear extends beyond individual nations. It is a global phenomenon, as evidenced by the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The emergency laws enacted during this crisis led to unprecedented levels of surveillance, movement tracking, and censorship. Governments framed these measures as necessary for public health, but we must critically examine whether they were merely tools for greater control over our lives. The illusion of freedom is another potent mechanism of control. We are led to believe that our voices matter, that our votes can change the course of history. Yet the reality is often starkly different. The U.S. political landscape is dominated by a two-party system that presents a facade of choice while operating under the influence of powerful financial interests. Both the Democratic and Republican parties receive funding from the same global banks, entities like BlackRock, Vanguard, and Goldman Sachs, ensuring that regardless of the election outcome, the same elite interests prevail. This orchestrated dance of democracy serves to placate the masses, allowing them to believe they are active participants in a democratic process, when in fact, the outcome is predetermined long before they cast their votes. The European Union presents a similar scenario, where leaders like Ursula von der Leyen wield immense power without being directly elected by the populace. This disconnect between the governed and those in power breeds a sense of apathy, as citizens are left feeling powerless to effect meaningful change. Machiavelli understood that the key to maintaining control is to allow people to believe they have agency, thus ensuring they remain compliant in their chains. As we peel back the layers of this illusion, we arrive at the unsettling reality of total surveillance, a concept that George Orwell warned us about in his dystopian novel, 1984. What was once relegated to fiction has become our everyday existence. In countries like China, the social credit system exemplifies the extent to which surveillance can permeate daily life. Every action is monitored, and citizens are assigned a social score that dictates their freedoms, from travel to employment opportunities. This digital leash extends far beyond national borders, as global surveillance programs, such as those revealed by Edward Snowden, demonstrate. The NSA's extensive data collection efforts have shown that every call, every email, and every digital interaction is subject to scrutiny. Yet, despite the gravity of these revelations, the public's outrage dissipated, and the mechanisms of power continued unabated. The perfect dictatorship, as Machiavelli might suggest, is one where the populace believes they are free, blissfully unaware of the chains that bind them. In this context, the economic wars that rage beneath the surface become increasingly relevant. The notion that money is the ultimate goal is a misconception. Rather, control is the true objective. The collapse of Libya in 2011 serves as a poignant example. Muammar Gaddafi's ambition to introduce a gold-backed currency for Africa posed a direct threat to the established financial order. Within months of announcing this plan, he was violently overthrown, raising the question, was this a fight for democracy, or a calculated economic war waged by those who sought to maintain their grip on power? The influence of financial giants like BlackRock and Vanguard cannot be overstated. These firms control vast swaths of the global economy, dictating who thrives and who fails. Their reach extends into nearly every major corporation, ensuring that the decisions made at the top reverberate through the lives of ordinary individuals. The economic landscape is thus not merely a battleground for wealth. It is a theater of control, where the real winners are those who operate behind the scenes, unseen and unaccountable. In the midst of this intricate web of control, distraction tactics play a crucial role. Machiavelli recognized the value of keeping the populace occupied, a strategy that remains relevant today. The entertainment industry, particularly Hollywood, serves as a powerful tool for cultural engineering. Dystopian narratives dominate popular culture, subtly conditioning audiences to accept control and surveillance as normative. Simultaneously, major sporting events like the FIFA World Cup and the Olympics captivate millions, diverting their attention from pressing social issues that demand scrutiny. While fans cheer and celebrate, genuine protests and social unrest are often relegated to the background, suppressed or ignored by the media. The clever ruler understands that a distracted populace is less likely to question their circumstances. By providing bread and circuses, they ensure that the masses remain entertained and disengaged from the mechanisms of power that govern their lives. This strategy has deep historical roots, echoing the Roman Empire's use of spectacle to pacify the masses. As we arrive at the final juncture of this exploration, it becomes imperative to confront a fundamental question. Do we truly want to see the reality of our situation? Power is not merely what is visible. It is often found in the unseen, the overlooked, and the unexamined. The cacophony of modern life, filled with screens and distractions, can obscure the truth that lies just beneath the surface. In a bustling city, amidst the noise and chaos, one individual pauses, looking up from their phone. The silence that follows is profound, a moment of clarity in a world saturated with information. This is the awakening, the recognition that we are not merely players in a game. We are the pawns in a larger scheme, manipulated by forces that operate beyond our comprehension. The choice now lies before us, to remain in the comfort of ignorance or to confront the unsettling truth of our existence. Are we ready to recognize the truth? Are we prepared to awaken from the slumber of complacency and question the narratives that have been fed to us? If we do not understand the game, we become unwitting participants, played by those who wield power. The time has come for us to wake up, to challenge the status quo, and to reclaim our agency in a world where control is often disguised as freedom. The choice is ours, to keep sleeping or to finally awaken to the reality that surrounds us. The mechanics of power are at play, and the question remains, are we willing to see?